and criminal justice reinvestment. And Darrell, for your information, some of our responsibilities are to identify outreach methods to engage the community regarding initiatives related to public safety realignment, to improve public access to the information regarding realignment, to provide membership cultivation and succession planning for CAB, and to nurture CAB's ambassador program, which we are currently involved in, and to organize and assist with our annual new member orientation. And it's important to say thanks to the members of this committee for the time that they're putting into it, and we really appreciate their commitment. So without that, and that brief introduction, Darrell, for you, let's get to work here. Can we have now introductions? Let's do committee members first. Mark?
Oh, I'm Mark Thomas. I'm from East County. I currently live in Oakland. So I've been involved, I guess, a few months now. And so that's me. And I pass on to maybe Monique.
Thank you, Mark. Hi, my name is Monique Tate, and I am with the Office of Reentry and Justice, the program coordinator. I'm happy to be here with you all. And I'll pass it to, I'm going to pass it to Darrell.
Good morning, I'm Darrell Michael. Appreciate the opportunity to become a member of the Community Advisory Board. The reason I wanted to join the CAB is because I want to help. And specifically, I would like to work directly with those that are getting reentering society from prison. I have a direct connection with that, myself being formerly incarcerated, but that's where my passion is, and that's what I want to help with.
Okay, Nicole?
Hi, my name is Nicole Popchek. I also work with the Office of Reentry and Justice and staff to CAB. Darrell, you've seen emails back and forth from me.
Yes.
And if you were to join CAB, we'd probably see a lot more. But we're here to help. Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Nicole. My name is Crawford Carpenter. I'm a member of CAB and previously a frequent visitor to Detroit, your hometown area. So I call that synergy before we've even started to really talk. So thank you for that information. Is there any public comment? I don't believe there is, but we just want to follow the agenda and make sure we're going according to Hoyle here. Any public comment? None being, then let's move to the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. I have had an opportunity to review them. Oh, wait a minute. Let's wait till Nicole gets us squared away here. There we are. And Mark, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from the previous meeting?
No. Oh.
Okay. Take your time. We can give you a few moments to take a look.
Everything looks okay to me.
Outstanding, Mark. Nicole, I don't believe I can make the motion since I'm chairing the meeting right now. Should the motion come from Mark for approval, or should I? How do we?
I've never been in that position, so I think we can just be safe. Mark can make the motion and then you can second.
Thank you.
Well, I move that the minutes be approved.
I second the motion. Can we have any public comment? None being heard? Can you call the roll, please?
Mark?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, Crawford.
Yeah, I think so. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I
Yes,
hope so.
yes, we're fine.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Let's move then to the next area, and this is really the reason we're here, Daryl. This is to review the application for you to be considered to our CAB board. And maybe if we could start out with, maybe you could share a little bit about you, your history, etc. And then Mark, if you have any questions, I'd like for you to start. And then after that, I'll chime in with some questions. How's that? So the floor is yours, Daryl. Or Darrell.
Yes. My name is Darrell Michael. I'm 50 years old. I have a family here out here. I live in Oakley. I think that's considered to be East County, Oakley. We just moved out here about 3 years ago. And I wanted to get involved with, like I said, attaching myself to resources or any way that I could help out here. Out here we have Antioch. A lot of guys come to Antioch out here getting from prison. I just wanted to connect myself with resources and also just to work directly with those that are reentering society from prison. I think I know what it takes to be able to kind of turn your life around. I was incarcerated from 93 to 2000, pretty much 93 to 2000. I haven't been back since, but it wasn't easy. But I just want to help guys. I just want to get in the game and help guys. That's all. That's all I want to do. My passion is working directly with the guys just getting out. That's about it. That's it in a nutshell for me. I currently do work. I've been employed at Children's Hospital. I do maintenance, janitorial there, and I work on a graveyard shift. So I'm here. I can be kind of available in the afternoons. So that's where I'm at.
Well, thank you very much, Darrell. Mark, do you have any questions for the gentleman?
Well, you pronounce it Darrell?
Yes, like Carl, but with a D.
Yeah,
D.
Darrell. Okay.
Yes.
So what have you done previously in this area?
I've worked at I've done outreach work. Let me try to see everybody on how to do this stuff. Show the grid video. Yeah, okay, so I've done, I was an outreach worker for 3 years when we were living out there in Hayward. So I was an outreach worker with the city of Union City. And what my role was to work with those who are on probation and parole from ages like 14 through like 24. We had services and programs. We had job programs for them. And we would get our referrals sometimes from the probation department, from the school system. And that's all it was. Basically, it was going up to the schools. Anybody that they was deemed high risk, whatever. Anybody that was deemed high risk, I would go talk to them and try to get them involved in different programs and just get them to think outside the box that they were currently in and offer them a better way. My thing is just anything I can tell you to avoid being incarcerated. I mean, I just don't want to see anybody go through that. And my main thing is, I know we need help on all different levels. We have legislative areas that we can help with. But I mean, I think where I come in at is working directly with them, with the people, and not focusing on what we don't have, but focusing more on a mindset that because that's why I believe it all starts. You just have to make that one decision, and it's very, very hard, but you have to make the decision that you value yourself enough, that you value yourself enough that you just won't make a decision to go back to the penitentiary. It just has to be that way. You know, and that's, I feel, the only way. I mean, and if you're attached some kind of way spiritually, whether it be Christian, Islam, whatever it is, anything that help you, it provides you discipline and gives you some type of stability, because when things don't go your way, you just don't flip and just go the other way. And that's the struggle. I feel I think all the programs are great, but it has to be from up here. It has to be.
Okay, thank you. I'll let someone else ask a question.
I guess I'm next up. If you have another one, please go ahead, Mark, because I do have a few here to go through, and I don't want to monopolize the time.
Well, just one thing I was going to ask them, what things or practices in your previous area where you live did you see worked well, and what didn't work well for helping people do successful reentry?
What I feel works well is just being simple with it, is being a man of your word. That just goes far. And then stressing the importance of the expectation that whoever you're working with, that they also be a man of their word. And we start there. But what helps, I think, in this society and with this generation now, like I said, I'm 50, so these young, I call them kids, these young kids, it's all about the here and now. So what can you offer them that is better than their situation? What will they gravitate to right now that is better than their situation? And so to answer your question is, fortunately, we did have, at that time, we had, I don't know if we heard this program called Highway to Work program back in the day. And so the kids that were on probation, basically they had to attend this one workshop, and they were offered a job at that time. And so that was kind of like a carrot for me. And then once they attended that workshop and they actually got employed, hey, it changed a lot of their lives. I mean, they saw the opportunity and a way to make money other than the streets or a legal way to make money. And I think most of the kids, they want to do right. They just need guidance. They just need guidance, and they need the opportunity. I like programs like Highway to Work program. I like the Cyrus Mandela program. I went through there. I don't know if you heard of that. It's in Oakland, but they work a lot with the reentry population, getting out, helping you get trades. They work directly with Caltrans. They have directly with PG&E, things of that nature. I hope I answered your question, Mark.
Well, anything you noticed that didn't work well and that you would say we should be avoided or not, not implemented, something you experienced?
Yeah.
If there's anything, you don't have to find anything critical. Just
I don't find anything that didn't work well.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll pass it, Crawford.
Okay, well, Mark, thank you. Hey, you kind of took us in a little different direction, which was excellent, by the way. I've got maybe one or two questions, maybe more than that, Darrell, but let's see if we can get started here. How would you, based on your experience, how would you prioritize housing, employment, and mental health
Mm.
regarding returning citizens. Let me repeat those. And if you could just tell me 1, 2, 3, let me give them to you again. Housing, employment, a job, and then mental health. What would be your 1, 2, 3 of those?
I would say housing, mental
Okay.
health, and then employment.
Okay, so housing, mental health, and then a job.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. What guidance would you give, Darrell, to an individual preparing for reentry into society?
Well, the first thing I want to know is I just wanted to sit down. I would same kind of tone of the questions that you're asking me. What did you learn this from prison? What did you learn from your incarceration? I want to see. I mean, and understand, like, the number one thing I can stress is patience. That's all I can stress is patience. I've been listening a lot to this motivational speaker named Les Brown. He's an older guy. And one thing that he said that I would just like really want to always relate to these guys is that eat the no's like vitamins. So anybody tells you a no, just eat it like a vitamin. Just keep going. So it takes a lot of persistence. You're gonna get a lot of no's. You're gonna get a lot of disappointments. There's a lot that's gonna be expected of you. And I just tell the guy, it's a lot harder to survive in society than it is in prison. When I was in prison, everything's provided for you. Your meals are provided. You don't have any bills. You don't have any baby mamas. You don't have any children or wives. I'm not being disrespectful, but there's a lot of things that that you really don't have to worry about. Yeah, it's tough in there. Yeah, some things you might have to defend yourself, but other than that, it's when you re-enter society, all the pressure is here. All the pressure is out in the world. So, kind of just tempering their expectations. Their family's going to expect them to hit the ground running. It's going to be a lot of people. Everybody's going to be looking at, all eyes on you right now. So, but just kind of getting them, the best advice I would do is just get the basics together. And just like you said, housing, employment, mental health, when you said that's a big one. That's a huge one. A lot of what they call it PTSD from prison. A lot of mental health issues. A lot of those guys getting out of prison, if they've done a substantial amount of time, a lot of times they get on medication while they're in there. So how do they now get out and continue those medications without a health plan, without, so that type of stuff. It's a lot of hurdles with that. And then they get back and resort to using drugs to medicate that way. So, yeah.
Well, Darrell, thank you so very much. One final question here for you. Looking at the application that you submitted, you really piqued my curiosity when you said changing the mindset of individuals. Might you maybe take a minute or two to elaborate on that? And I think you kind of touched on it earlier, but that seemed to be something that was very crucial. And you said changing the mindset of individuals, maybe of 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then we're done.
I mean, that's key. That's something that I still work on. What do you say? As a man thinketh, so he is, right? So if we think of ourselves as, low self-esteem, limited vision, you think of yourself as a gang member, you're gonna be a gang member. If you think of yourself as a drug dealer, you're gonna be a drug dealer. So it's kind of like all the things that you've learned to this point, just flipping it and just becoming a whole nother person and going a complete opposite way. And then if you do stumble, not beating yourself up and going back the other way. Because just like it took you a long time to be a seasoned criminal, it's gonna take you a long time to be a productive member of society, a family man, whatever you're trying to be. It's not gonna happen overnight. So just changing the way you see yourself. I don't know how actually to explain that or come across, but that's definitely what I would stress. Always encouraging. Like I said, nothing changes behind bars. Nothing changes. Out here, all the opportunities are out here. Your life can change in an instant out here. You hit the lotto and then your life changes in an instant, okay? But there's everything behind bars and behind the wall it remains the same, pretty much.
Daryl, thank you. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, sir. I interrupted you.
Just being grateful to be free. And valuing yourself enough that you're somebody's son, somebody's father, somebody's brother.
Well, again, Daryl, thank you so very much. You kind of said it all to me. If I wrote this down correctly, you said change the way you see yourself. Hey, that's powerful. Hey, I think that happens to a whole lot of us out here.
Yeah.
I love it. Daryl, we do have another member. This is the chair of our committee. She had a medical situation in Kenya. Would you care to chime in with any questions for Daryl?
Thank you for introducing me, Crawford. No, not at this time. I think that you guys covered a lot, and yeah, I'm here, but I am going to do a lot of observing. Thank you.
Thank you, and so nice of you to join us. Thank you, Kenya. You had me, I was worried there for a minute. Okay, let's now move on. Is there any public comment prior to us considering a vote here? Since there's no public comment, could we have a motion, please, regarding the application for Daryl Michael?
Well, I move that we accept Daryl's application.
Thank you, Mark. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Kenya.
I just wanted to clarify the motions. We're accepting the application and presenting him as a candidate to the full body. Is that right?
Yes. Are there any other questions? I don't think there's anybody else on the call, but let's follow protocol. Any comments from the public? All right, then let's move to a roll call, please.
Mark,
Aye.
Crawford,
Aye.
Kenya.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
And thank you, Daryl. You'll be moving to the next step. And hopefully we've all taken some proper notes here so that you will be,
He'll be presented tomorrow, actually.
oh my goodness. Okay, well, I have it and I will present you tomorrow.
So we did a slate, put us in the agenda during your guys' report out. We anticipated this, I guess, motion. So we put slated a spot there for you to present him to the full body.
Excellent then. So either Kenya or I will present you to the full board tomorrow, Daryl. So
And what time was that? Oh, I see right here.
That
two
is
o'clock?
2 o'clock. Yes, I was almost getting ready to say 10 because that's our normal time. But it's 2 o'clock, 2 p.m.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
link that I sent you.
And I know it's from 2 to 4, but I would have to leave early that day from like 3:15.
Okay. All right, I'll let the chair of the body know that, and we might have to rearrange the order of agenda items to account for that.
Well, I am glad
Nothing that you need to worry about. We'll figure it out.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have it at 10 a.m.
You have it at 10 a.m.?
10.
Oh,
Okay.
boy, here we go again. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a reschedule that we sent out. I have it on my calendar for 2, so I'll probably send out a reminder to everyone just so that everyone knows. It's
Okay.
even on a different day. It's on Wednesday, which normally it's on a Thursday, so,
Okay, so you're saying the CAB meeting is at 2 o'clock tomorrow?
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I'll make sure I'm not late. Okay. May we now, first of all, before we move on to the next agenda item, which will be agenda item number 5, Darrell, you're more than welcome to stay with us if you would like to see some of the other things we're going to be considering, how we are approaching various situations. And you could comment, you're welcome to comment as a member of the public. Once we have our discussion with the board members here, then we would open it up to your comment if you desire. So again, you're welcome to stay with us. It's your call, sir.
I could stay for some.
Okay, fine then. Nicole, could we move to item number 5, which is the standing agenda item for membership status? Could you maybe put that up on the screen there for us on page 13? And that is attachment 3. Do you want to make any comments on this, or does anybody want to comment on the board, staff or board?
I could provide some context for those that are not familiar with this, if you'd like.
Would you please?
Yeah. So I just wanted to highlight that this is basically a proposed roster effective January 1st, based on what we know, which is those individuals that are terming out. Their last year will be finished up in December. And that specifically is Devon, Michael, and Shayla. So they're no longer on here, as you can see. And that presents some vacancies. And with what we know is that Mark has been moved up to East County as a voting member, effective January 1st. And then tomorrow, Dale will also be presented to move up from an alternate member position to a voting member position for Central County. And essentially we don't have any reserves for alternates. And we don't have any set seats, but I put vacancies in West County only because our focus is to try to balance the regions. And so it's technically not a vacant seat in West County, but just proposing here that we should focus our efforts there based on conversations that have come out of this group, that's where we would like to focus our efforts, but know that, obviously, Darrell, you're from East County, so we're happy to take applicants from wherever they're located, but at least getting the word out that we do need some West County representation. Please add anything else, Crawford or Nikini or Mark, you would like.
May I add then, since there weren't any other comments, Darrell?
Yes.
I've got an ask of you. How's that for you? The ask has been from our vantage point. Now I have an ask of you, and that ask is, do you happen to know of somebody that may have interest in serving on our board, that could bring, just bring experience or a desire just to work with us? If you do, please contact us, and we would love to consider the individual. So that's our ask. So again, thank you, Darrell, and if you could give some consideration to that ask.
Okay, will do.
Okay, and thank you, sir. Moving to the, I notice we have another member of the public with us. Are there any public comments? Terry Dunn. Terry, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm a resident of Central County, and just becoming aware of the council. And I could get this answer another time, but I would look forward to learning about what the role is for alternate members and what the process would be about checking that out. In the meantime, today, I look forward to witnessing your meetings.
Terry, I would
Yes.
like to take a moment. Let's answer your question by George.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, George.
So maybe we could start out, could we get a quick view from Nicole and Monique? These are staff members and individuals that have provided the continuity. We serve, hopefully, Lord willing, 3-year terms, but sometimes we don't. They're basically the focal points. So maybe Nicole, you could start, followed by Monique. And hey, maybe we can ring you in now. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, I mean, essentially an alternate member it acts as the same as a voting member. The only difference is that an alternate member is not allowed to vote on actions unless they're called upon to do so in the absence of a member or a vacancy for the full body. So that's where the alternates really come in as far as, voting on behalf of a member that's absent or vacancy within the full body meetings that are monthly. But one difference for our committee is that alternates are allowed to serve on subcommittees, which is what this meeting is, a subcommittee meeting. And so we have 3 subcommittees. We have this outreach and community engagement subcommittee. We have one called programs and services, and then another that's policy and budget. And you are allowed to join one of those subcommittees and act as a voting member. So that's one of the differences. But the expectation is that you would, from a time commitment standpoint, is that you would join all of the full body meetings and then at least one subcommittee meeting. That you would be appointed to one subcommittee meeting, which are monthly, different cadence of times between the two. This one happens to be at 10. And on, what is it, the 3rd? I'll have to look at the cadence on the calendar, but it is mentioned on our website, and I can put a link in the chat as well for you that kind of goes into more detail about that. We also are, so this full body is hopefully I don't confuse here. We're an advisory body to the community corrections. Correct me on the terminology. It's the CCP, the Community Corrections Partnership. And that is a larger body that we advise. So that's how we kind of came about. And so this body is required to attend at least half of those meetings that are quarterly. So that's 4 meetings a year. So I guess from a commitment standpoint, it would be to join at least 2 of those CCP meetings. And I think our last one this year is December 3rd. We just had one on Friday, which was a special meeting, and we have the next one on December 3rd.
Okay. Would you mind sharing your phone number so I might, rather than take everyone's time, I might
Sure.
just check in with you?
No problem. And I'll post the website too, because I think a lot of the information can be answered on there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm developing interest, but I take a while to process everything, so I don't want to hold you up. And thank you for the time today. And I am going to have to be stepping out because I do online tutoring and I've got a session coming.
Yeah.
But
Can we ask really quick how you found out about us? I'm just curious.
Yeah, through Serge Contra Costa had your agendas and links in a weekly newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. This particular subcommittee is charged with outreach, and so we always are curious on how people find out about us. So
Yeah.
well, I put my number and the link to the website online on chat if you want to grab that, and you can reach out to me.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
And Terry, thank you for participating. Thank you for joining us. And remember, we are here, and from my personal experience, Nicole and Tate, they'll take good care of you. They respond.
Okay.
They respond quickly. So, hey, I'd say, hey, go for it.
That's very helpful. Thank you. And,
all right. And thank you, sir, for joining us. Unless there are any other questions, can we maybe move to the next item here that we have? That's updates to follow up on community contacts / updated flyer and an online application. Maybe you can bring us up to date there, Nicole, or if you want any of us.
So in regards to the CAB branded email template, that is going to be on hold until we internally align on our own priorities as far as whether or not that's something we can take on right now. So that is the update. We don't have one right now. As much as I would like to do one, but we need to prioritize internally on that. Yeah, as far as my time being spent doing that. So no, nothing to show on that part. I did, as most of you hopefully saw, did reach out just through email, which is essentially, the same result, right? Reaching out to all of our contacts, all of our network, in addition to the contacts that you provided, Crawford, as far as legislative contacts and city mayoral contacts, different committees in the county contacts. We sent out a blast email with all of the new revised flyer for recruiting, and as well as the new online application. And if folks were willing to post something on Facebook, a little blurb of what that could be, is what we sent out yesterday. And that was one of the requests of this subcommittee for us to do, to support you. So that communication has gone out, and essentially the assignments for following up on the city mayoral side, I sent around to everyone all the members in this subcommittee, what their assignments are to follow up. My recommendation is maybe to wait a week. So I sent it out yesterday, so maybe next Monday. Follow up with those contacts if that's the direction that you guys would like to go.
Well, thank you, Nicole. And well, Nicole, I didn't follow your orders. I already called the list.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I called.
Okay.
And guess what? What's the best terminology, which probably isn't proper English? You done good. We only had the people that I talked to, I had to leave one message, but the others, they received it and they were pleased that we followed up. That I was surprised at that. And like one lady was saying, geez, you guys really mean business. You followed up. Oh yes, I did this, I did that. So the follow-up's important, and just wanted to encourage everybody else to follow up. So that's all I wanted to mention in that particular area. That's it. What was the next item that we had there? Was there another item, or is there any public comment?
I think that you were gonna, I think that was really the update for the community contacts. And I guess now the next step is just for the others to follow up on their assignments, just to confirm that folks did get the email. I didn't get any bounce backs, with the exception of the 2 that I sent to you, Crawford, but those were outside of the mayoral city contacts. Those were your legislative contacts. I had a couple bounces. So
Correct.
I just recommend maybe double checking to see if maybe we missed, the email address might be off possibly.
Well,
I'm sure you have it because you reached out to them. So just,
Yeah.
if you could just double check on that.
Well, I reached out to both of them. I had to leave one message, and the other one to the Jennifer, whatever her name was, Qualic. She's no longer with them. I found another lady, Wendy.
There you go.
And she gave me the name, phone number, and email address of her replacement. And what I'm looking to do, because, and again, you threw me off guard with the early start here or whatever. I will pull up the original email that I sent to Qualic. I will send that to this other lady, Jennifer House, and say, this is what the lady you replaced committed to just wanted to make sure, we're all in sync and we're together. I'll word it a little nicer than the way I just explained it. But I'll send that to her, and I'm waiting on a phone back from the other email that bounced. So I should have some more updated information for you over the next 2 days, hopefully.
Okay.
Okay.
Did
That's it.
any other Mark or Nakania have any questions about next steps? Just want to make sure that there wasn't everything.
No.
So was this the one where you were supposed to get permission for us to reach out?
No, not permission. So I sent out an email countywide yesterday. And it was in addition to the contacts that you guys were assigned to follow up on. So I sent it out to a lot more people just to get more of a wider net, kind of what we talked about. And so
I
the
thought,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think I was told that we had to wait on that, so I did not follow up on it. I don't know what.
Right. The follow-up was for me to let you know that it was sent, which I did. I sent it yesterday and I sent you guys the assignments. Because you didn't have that in front of you as far as what contacts you were assigned to follow up with. So you weren't expected to do anything by the time of this call. It was just more if you had any questions on what you need to do now, which would be to follow up by no earlier than maybe next Monday to see if they did receive it and if they had any questions.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, are there any comments from the public at large regarding this issue? None being, can we move to the next item, which is updates on the community college flyer, attachment 4? If you could put that up, Nicole. All right, pardon me, attachment 4, pages 14 and 15 in your packet. I'll just go over this briefly and give you the highlights. Had a great meeting, and I didn't have to buy the guy a cup of coffee, by the way. Previously I thought I had to buy him a cup of coffee, but we met in his office. We had a ball. He is a retired police officer from Concord, and he's all into community policing. And we had just a tremendous conversation, and he gave me direction on the campus. I, went to, various places for veterans, the student union, student services, met with various people there, sent information to them. And I also sent some information to a gentleman who's out in Richmond. Could you go back 1 second there? There he is, John Sanford. He's the chairperson of Administration of Justice in the campus that's located in Richmond. Now, he has not gotten back to me. I sent him an email and have called him twice. He still hasn't responded. So I'll probably go back to Matt Morrissey and say, hey, Matt, can you help me out here? Help us out. We're not getting any type of response from this gentleman. But it was a neat day. And what I thought was so neat about it, it's been so many years since I've been on a college campus. And the people and the youngsters that I bumped into, they were all welcoming. They liked our program. There was a lady that was the head of something, not the head, I guess she was some administrative manager. And she said, well, gee, I wish I could participate, but I don't live in Contra Costa County. And then in reviewing our bylaws, noticed that, well, if you work in Contra Costa County, you can also be a member. So sent something to her, haven't heard back from her either, but I think we've got this thing moving forward. And here's what I thought was probably an excellent suggestion. Matt Morrissey, the gentleman at Diablo Valley College, he has a contact at a local TV station. And he said, this is the type of thing, what we do that we should get to him. And his name is Ed Lee. And I thought that was a great suggestion, and I'd have to yield to you, Nicole, and to Monique to see if that's something the county would want to do. And he said this guy could probably run a 30-second or whatever, interview you guys, and they would kind of give us, and he could just get the message out. And I know, Nakenya, you've been really big on getting the message out to people other than what we currently see. And what an opportunity if we could figure out how to make something like that work. But I just thought it was a great day. And I'm just a firm believer, person to person, emails are great, text messages are great, but nothing was better. Oh, and when I went to the veterans office, there were 3 veterans there that really liked what we were trying to do, and they were going to make sure that they passed it on to veterans that came in there to their office. So, I mean, you know, face to face, I know it's difficult. We all wore masks, don't get me wrong. So we were covered then, but there's nothing like, at least in my view, person to person contact. And I think I've said enough unless you have anything more, Nicole.
No.
Any other questions before we move on? Okay.
So was there an action to follow up on, you said a presentation that he was interested in doing?
But when you said presentation,
Was there a presentation or something, or he was gonna?
no, you mean the TV guide? Is that the? Yeah, no, they wanted us to contact the TV person. No, if we had interest, we'll go back to Matt. Matt will put us in touch with them, and I would think somebody from ORJ would have to put something, you know, something professional together so that they could be interviewed with this gentleman to get our message out.
Okay.
So that is it, again, unless there are any other questions. Okay, can we move then to item number 6, next steps? And I think, Nicole, you may have some comments here.
Just one moment, taking notes from that last one. So if we were to, I'm not sure exactly what support you would need from ORJ if this group would be interested in doing a TV. I don't know if we need to talk about it further in here, but if there's could be a follow-up. I guess it is something that needs to be discussed if this group is interested. Maybe we can, you know, hold off on that till next year, but we would need to know what you're interested in exactly and what support ORJ you're looking for. And then I need to take that back internally to see if that's something we can even do.
Okay, well, conceptually, you know, short and sweet. We would want to get our message out, you know, maybe some bullets, and then have those bullets organized. You know, for example, we are CAB, we are looking for members. We are really interested in people from the public. And then we mention the various items, previously incarcerated, a public citizen, or some of those other areas that we list in our flyer. And then we say, these are the points we want to present. And if that takes 30 or 60 seconds and we're interviewed on TV, I think it's Channel 2, what a way to get out to the public. And maybe there's some other thoughts from Mark or Nakenya or Daryl, anybody else.
And who would be the face of that? Would that be one of the members or Matt or ORJ?
I would think ORJ, wouldn't you? Or I would think a combination of ORJ and Michael, since he is the chair.
I'm sorry. I was trying to see where, can you say like the gist of it again? I think I wasn't clear what you were saying.
Okay, the goal has been to get our message out that we are looking for members of CAB. We would get that message to a local TV station and have somebody from ORJ and possibly Michael for them to be interviewed, putting that message out there.
Oh, okay.
I would see that, I mean, if this subcommittee is interested in this, that this is something that you present to the full body before we would even take action. to
Yes,
see.
okay.
So my recommendation, and I guess in your report out, is that you present this as something that you want to do, and then the full body maybe weigh in on it. Especially since you're looking for ORJ and the CAB chair support to do it. But they might be wanting more information from you as far as what that would look like.
Okay.
Yeah, and there, I think for,
That's
stuff
a
like
look.
TV and, that kind of scale of recruitment, we would also need to see who's comfortable with being in front of a camera. And, I feel like that would be important as well. Like anybody could just go and talk about stuff, but to make it seem, to put it in the terms that would be interesting to people and kind of draw them in. So I think that's, and it's a good idea, but I think there's going to be like a lot more planning for it. I think it would take like a specific type of person to be able to do that. And I don't even know, if there are any well, I know member wise, but oh, sorry, buddy. Sorry you guys for the noise in the background. But to just, yeah, I hope does that make sense to anybody?
I was going to recommend Patrice and I was going to recommend Michael. They're both good on Zoom. They're both good in front of cameras. Next.
Well, cameras on Zoom and cameras with the world watching is, I think, two totally different things.
Well, we ask them. I'm looking for a reason to do it, not for a reason not to do it.
No, I just want it to be successful. So I think that it's a good idea. I'm not denying that. But when it comes to like recruitment on that kind of level, I think that you want to make sure that, your message is interesting and that you're going to be actually effective. So that is what I'm saying.
Your point is well taken.
Yeah.
I mean, in the meantime, I can follow up internally. I don't anticipate that Patrice would want to have this be the face of ORJ because this is your guys' committee. But I'm happy to present that to her and see what recommendations that she has.
Oh, Monique?
I have a question or a comment. So also when someone follows up with Matt and or Ed, it could simply be advertisement, not necessarily interviewing a person, because we have all of the information on our website. Maybe perhaps it could be that the information we have on the website could be delivered through the media outlet that Ed manages. So, I mean, I'm not sure. That's just an option. Just like you would buy ad space, similar to that. So I just think that's something to consider as well.
Okay. Well, again, following Nakenya's lead here, she's the chair and we want to follow her lead. What we need to do is work through it some more and we'll see where it takes us. If we do it, fine. If we don't, again, it was just a suggestion. Somebody offered to help us and we'll just talk about it more. How's that?
We want to hold off presenting it to the full CAB as a ask. I mean, you can mention it in your report out that you're thinking about it, and have us go here into ORJ internally and come back with some feedback next time.
That probably is the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess for next steps was just more just like a check-in to let everyone know, specifically the chairs, that we are on the hook for an annual report from this committee. And that we're looking for just kind of lessons learned, highlights from, accomplishments of this subcommittee to kind of put that information into the final report with all the other information from the other different subcommittees, and that we're looking to get that by November 29th. And then the attachment here is just what was done last time. We did not have one last year. This was the last known one that was submitted. So you can kind of use that as a guide of what kind of information was submitted. And then ORJ is going to be working with the Michael to compile all this together. So it may not be like word for word everything that you submitted, but at least it gives us a place to pull information from.
Can you, oh, wait a minute, Monique?
So I just wanted to make a comment. Nikinya, I don't know if you're up to talking about this, but you and I spent a good amount of time discussing this. And I know you wanted to get feedback from your committee members. So I don't know if you want them to weigh in on some of it at this point or via email.
Yeah, because I thought it would be, I didn't want to like hog up all the ideas and the time just because I'm the chair. I did feel like, I started this journey like with a lot of my peers here. So I do have some things that I think to contribute what I've learned, but I would like to hear also from Crawford and, everyone else so that it doesn't just look like me writing everything or, my ideas when it was kind of a shared thing, even though I was the chair, if that makes sense.
Can you, is it possible to just forward the document and then via email and then we could look at it? But hey.
Yeah, I mean, I also I was thinking about this because we did have a conversation about it. I had a conversation with it about Monique, but I think I'm going to add things that I feel could help with improvement, not just, things that I've learned. I think, for like Crawford and me and maybe a couple of other people, this is our first type of, commitment to a committee like this. So I'm sure there was like tons of things that, were different and that we had to adjust to, but also like what I would like to see for the people that are coming in later and things that I think would help retain members. But yeah, I will also add those. I'm pretty sure like maybe in his report, he wouldn't, I don't know if he would add it, but it'll at least be seen.
I would encourage some accomplishments. I mean, you guys got a lot of members. You got Mark and you Dale, and then now Darrell, and so there's definitely some accomplishments as well. That we include those in addition to lessons learned, right?
I have a comment. Thank you, Crawford. So Nicole, how would they do this? Would the members, Crawford and Mark, would they send so Crawford, you mentioned the form. So Nicole has attached the annual report, the last one, so it's attached. So really it would be just submitting maybe 2 to 3 bullet points of what you'd like to contribute. And should they send it to you, Nicole, or how should they?
The ORJ, I mean, if this was a larger group, we could have everyone just email the chair directly. But just because you guys are a smaller group and Brown Act, whatever, you can just send it to ORJ. And then we'll get that over to Michael. But it's just like what you did for your report outs for ambassadors. It's really high level highlights, whether it's lessons learned, things for improvement, accomplishments. I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed with the ask, but it's very, high level bullet points, very much like what you did just this last week with the ambassador report outs is what we're looking for.
Wouldn't it be,
If you want to go in deeper, you can, but I don't know if there might be a character limitation with what we submit. So it's going to be a summary as opposed to a timeline, right?
might it be easier if we just see what Kenya has already put together and Monique, and then we just take a look at it and we can say yes, yes, or add or whatever, and then we're done. That would be a lot easier.
Yeah, I was actually, sorry, I didn't even say this, but I was going to put together a document and send that out this week. So, and that would, I guess you can really add to it. But I think it could be like redone for other people's comments as well.
Okay, what's the decision?
I'm sorry, I didn't know there was a question. What was the question?
Okay, I recommend that Kenya send what she's already put together with Monique, that Monique sends a copy to Mark, send a copy to me. We'll both take a look at it, provide our comments, and then we're done.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking too.
Okay, I can definitely do that. And Nicole, we won't be violating anything by me sending it to them, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Can I copy Kenya on it, or should it just be individually to Crawford and Mark?
Individually to them.
Okay, so I'll just send Kenya the document that you and I worked on together or discussed, and if you made any changes, you can let me know, and then I can forward it to Crawford and Mark, and then they just need to make sure that they send any updates to Nicole and copy me on it by 11/29 in time for us to work with Michael on it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Mark, is that okay with you? Hey, we got to, hey, wait a minute, Mark's there. What do you think, Mark?
Oh, it's okay with me.
Okay, good, good. Okay, is there anything else we need to cover on the agenda? I think we're to the next point, which is discuss scheduling of the December meeting.
Yes. A part of next step is discussing what the agenda items are going to be from next time around. But depending on if you're meeting or not, that we can discuss it after the fact.
Any suggestions on the December meeting? Mark,
No,
Kenya?
Yeah, I move that we do what's been traditionally done and not have it.
Because I think we should have it, because we've got too many loose ends to clean up, but that's just me. Okay.
What loose ends? What do you feel is loose ends?
Well, I thought we were, if you look at, what is it, our charter, aren't we supposed to be doing something for the retreat?
So
Or that
that's going to
starts
be
in
talked about more amongst the officers in our agenda planning meeting, and kind of like selecting who would want to be a part of that committee, kind of planning committee. And it wouldn't be a public meeting. This would be something that's done offline. So
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think that would be the charge for this subcommittee to figure that out, but more the chair and figuring out. And that might be not until January that there's really any action done on that. So, but there's nothing this subcommittee is charged with to figure out.
Oh, okay. All right. Understand then. So maybe we need to rewrite our bylaws for the subcommittee and get that off of there. Because no, really.
Is
if
it
we're
on
not-
there?
Yeah.
It is? I'll have to take a look.
I mean, no, that's fine, that's for another day. But I'm just saying, if that's what we're charged with, then we should have been doing that during the year, and we didn't, and we should at least review what we did last year. And I know, now hold it, I don't know anything. We should take a look at that.
Oh, it must be on our work plan, but not the operating guidelines, you're saying?
I thought it was on the operating guidelines.
Okay, I don't know.
I
haven't
could be
reviewed
wrong.
that.
I don't have, well, here, let me, well, I don't want to take up everybody's time. I could try to look it up, but I'll mess this Zoom call up if I do that. But I thought it was on the charter that we have for our subcommittee. And that's why I was mentioning it. But if it's being handled somewhere else, fine, we move on. And most important, when the Kenya heads this up next year, maybe that's something this committee we need to look at, is go through our charter and see if it's still apropos. Maybe it isn't.
I guess, yeah, I see on here, it says assist CAB to organize an annual new member orientation and strategic planning, so.
There you go.
um,
We haven't done
and
any
What
of
that
that.
is, it could be that there's just someone dedicated from this group that is part of that planning meeting. The last year it was just Michael and ORJ that kind of put together the planning, and I guess technically Michael was on the outreach committee at that point, so
Yes.
he
Okay.
was within his charter to do that, so.
All right.
But I believe
And
that we're going to talk about this in our Monday meeting for agenda planning on what that's going to look like or should look like.
yeah, I was going to say that because I think that it has been discussed with discussion saying that a lot of that could happen during the agenda planning meetings. So, yeah.
Well, can we go back to then the scheduling of December's meeting? Let's see where we are and move forward. Let's go back and maybe we revisit it. Kenya, you don't think we should have a meeting, correct?
Hello. No, I don't. It's the holidays, and I feel like personally, I'm going to be a little bit scattered.
Okay.
And so, and I feel like we've crammed in a lot of things, and we should probably have a break.
Okay. And Mark?
Well, unless there's some very critical that hasn't been done that needs to be done, I would pass on the meeting.
Then that means majority rules, and I'm fine with that. No need to meet for the sake of meeting.
Okay.
So then the planning would be for the January meeting, but Kenya's still the chair then in January, correct? I'm assuming she is. So then,
Well, yeah, that will be decided in our retreat, who is going to be in what subcommittee and who is going to be the chair of those subcommittees, chair and vice chair. I would like to say that there's probably going to be a need to do another poll of membership because it was, things have changed. I've seen some folks kind of drop off a bit, and I don't know if it's because of the holidays coming up. So that might be something that we, it won't influence this. It is the charge of this committee, right? But it'll be something that be presented maybe in the December meeting, what those results are, just so that we know. But I just wanted to let you know that we were probably going to do that.
okay.
We anticipate next year being in person. It's just things are hate to say getting back to normal because I don't feel like that's a thing, but there is a lot of signs that that's the way the direction this committee is going. So we really need people to be honest about whether or not, if they could meet in person, if that would impact their desire to continue or ability to continue. So so we'll be polling people. You can expect that to come from us
Okay,
soon.
sounds good.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I guess if the cadence remains the same, I'm not sure what that would be. The calendar really quick. You guys are on the third Tuesday, so that would put you guys at, looks like the 18th of January. If the cadence remains the same.
Okay,
But I don't know, last year we didn't meet for subcommittees in January. We waited until after the retreat, so it might not be until February. That you guys meet again, so. More to come on that.
all right then. Any comments? Nakenya first, any comments from you before we move to January, so to speak? Any comments from you, Nakenya?
Well, I just wanted to thank everybody for their help. It was nice to meet everybody since I didn't know you guys at this time last year. So I hope everybody have a happy holidays and, look forward to seeing you again.
Mark, any comments?
Well, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be participating in all this and trying to learn and get back on track of meetings. I should be good at them, but because I'm a volunteer for a lot of other meetings, but I just have to see, still seeking full-time employment, and that might impact everything. So I'll see what the new year brings. But yeah, thanks for having me be part of this. And that's all for me.
Okay, and I'd say thanks to everybody too. This has been, what a learning experience, and thank you, Nakenya, for chairing the committee. It's been an experience, and thank you. And Nicole and Monique and Darrell, hopefully you'll be joining us. Uh-oh, who's that in the background? And and hopefully you'll be joining us and you can put a little more muscle with CAB, because we're in need of all the help we can get. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we ready to adjourn then, Nicole?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. What time do we have as our adjourning? I've got, what, 10:28, 10:29? I don't know.
11:29.
11:29. There we go. Well, thank you and Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.